Hi, welcome from Hyde Park, New York. I'm at the Vanderbilt Mansion National Historic Park. So a couple days ago, before I drove up to upstate New York, I'm in Hyde Park at the Franklin D. Roosevelt National Historic Site in his presidential library. And that was really good. So I stopped back in Hyde Park on my way back home, and I'm now at the Vanderbilt Mansion National Historic Site. Behind me is the visitor center, which just itself looks fancy. You basically have to do a guided tour of the mansion. The mansion is going to be like that way. It is $15. I just came in. My tour's in 15 minutes. Welcome to the Addams Family Travelers. Join us as we use our vacation days to travel around as much as we can and enjoy exploring the world. Make sure you join us on our adventures. And there's so much to do here at Hyde Park. There's 3 national parks or national sites. There's the Franklin Delano Roosevelt National Historic Site, the Vanderbilt Mansion National Historic Site, and the Eleanor Roosevelt National Historic Site. The Eleanor Roosevelt National Historic Site, I did want to go to that, her home at Valk Hill, where she lived after Franklin's death. But unfortunately, that was closed. It's not open again until like summer. So it's in the spring now. So that one I'll have to hit another time. But so lots to do in Hyde Park. You really could spend a couple days here or in the Hudson Valley, New York area. But right now I'm only here for the day. Again, on my way home, I'm gonna tour the Vanderbilt Mansion, and then later I hope to go to the other thing that's here in Hyde Park is the Culinary Institute of America. I'm gonna go to their cafe there. You can eat. They have a ton of restaurants on the campus, and you can eat there. They even have tours, but all the tours for today were sold out. So I'm just gonna go and go to their like student run bakery and cafe and try some of the goodies there. But I'm gonna get ready for my tour here, and I'll bring you along. It should be good. I mean, even the visitor center looks so fancy. This, I think, should be really elegant and pretty cool home to tour. Vanderbilt mansion tour. It took an hour. It was a fantastic tour. We got to learn about the Vanderbilts that lived here, Frederick and Louise. Frederick was the one of the grandsons of Cornelius Vanderbilt, who's the main figure. Now all the grandchildren started with about $12 million. And Frederick ended up running the railroad. He was a business person in his own right. And when he died in 1938, he ended with about 79 million or so. But so basically, this house was built in 1899. It was, I think, 600,000 to build it and 1.5 million to decorate. They had over 20 staff here. Now they only lived in this house like about half the year, but this was their favorite house. They also lived in France a good bit, and they had other houses as well. So the Vanderbilt grandchildren had a lot of famous houses. The Breakers in Newport, which I've seen. Biltmore is the biggest one. I've always wanted to go see the Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina. Louise and Frederick they didn't have any children. They were married for over about 50 years. They would have guests at this house, about 6 to 8 guests at a time. Theodore Roosevelt came here. And when Louise died in 1927. When Frederick died in 1938, he didn't leave any money to the Vanderbilt relatives. He left to his niece on his wife's side. She inherited the house, and he left money to all his servants. They were all very well paid and cared for. There was electricity in this house. They had some of the electricity before some of the areas did. There was central heat, even though there was fireplaces too. There's 54 rooms in the house, 14 bathrooms. There was flushable toilets. This is a perfect Gilded Age house. It's gorgeous inside. I definitely recommend coming here. But so when his niece Sarah Van Allen inherited the house, she didn't really want it, and she tried to sell it. But at this point, it was outdated in 1938. So Franklin Roosevelt, their neighbor, suggested leaving it to the national parks, it's been in the national parks ever since. The only time it was been stopped for public tours has been COVID, and during World War II, the Secret Service that were watching over Franklin Roosevelt stayed at this house. But I'm not really big on house tours, and this was just gorgeous and amazing. It makes me even want to see the Biltmore even more. And I definitely recommend doing this for $15. It's really beautiful inside. You get to learn a lot about the Vanderbilts and the Gilded Age. And I definitely recommend it. I'm going to go to the back of the house now and see some of the views of the Hudson River. What a beautiful house. I definitely recommend coming here. And the other interesting thing I wanted to add is that the Vanderbilts were new money. So even though Franklin Roosevelt was their neighbor, his mother, Sarah, didn't like the Vanderbilts because she was old money and they were new money. So this was a really big display of their wealth. And I just talked to some other visitors that are here, and they said inside the Breakers is much more luxurious. This is very small compared. I've seen the Breakers from the outside, but this is very small compared to the Breakers in Newport, Rhode Island, and to Biltmore. So this is considered a small house, which is crazy with 54 rooms. I definitely recommend touring this for $15. It's gorgeous. Even if you're not into touring houses, I'm not. I think just if you're into history, it's neat to tour it. So I'm gonna go over to the Culinary Institute of America now. And one more thing, the visitor center here was a guest cottage on the property. It was just crazy. So behind me is the Culinary Institute of America. This is one of 3 of their campuses. This was in Hyde Park, and they have tons of restaurants here. There's all these featured chefs wandering around, which is really cool. I know they filmed some cooking shows and stuff here. So like I said, there's usually tours almost every day. It was booked up, so make sure you book it if you want to go on one of the tours. Book it in advance. But I'm gonna go here. The restaurants are open. There's a bakery that's student run, and I'm gonna go check that out. So the cafe is crazy because it's like a little after lunchtime, and the students eat there too, I guess. That's where they mostly go for their lunches. So between students and people visiting, it's just interesting. You can walk right into the college. I went in the bookstore too, so that's pretty cool. They were out of a lot of the baked goods. Like I tried to get a bunch of cookies and they were out of those. It's also like lunchtime and afternoon. I did get a croissant and I got a Paris breast, which we had in Paris. This one's pistachio. But it looks different, so it'll be interesting to see. And then I got a coffee. It's good. So it's just a nice little stop when you're in this area. I think it'd be cool to do a tour here and see. It's definitely where, college. Like, I don't know what I expected, but there's students here. So thank you for watching my video of Hyde Park, and I actually both of them, and I would definitely come visit here. It's a neat little town, so pretty on the Hudson, and lots of things to do.